Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for today's presentation. We are coming at you truly virtual today in a recorded webinar. Today's topic, real elastic layering for Citrix, VMware, and any Windows workspace, is our latest application layering webinar. And today we're going to be joined by our presenters, Jason Smith and Greg Peck, who are going to bring us through our presentation today. So go ahead, Jason, you want to take us away?
Thanks, Ray. And we're glad to be coming to you to tell you about, elastic layering, give you a brief history of it, and how Liquidware has actually led in that space. And I'm again happy to be joined by Greg Peck. A little bit about elastic layering. Elastic layering was a term that was first coined by Unidesk in 2016 to make their layers, application delivery layers, more dynamic versus only being delivered along with the Windows OS, which they're experts at doing or had been. And while they had been the first to market with layering, as most of the community knows it, the market had seen Liquidware come on strong in 2012 with a different approach, dynamic layers that were packaged and delivered separate from the Windows OS. And that included different versions of the Windows OS and different types. So it could be a server version versus a desktop version. And the goal was to always have them untethered by the Windows OS version. So Unidesk had jumped in to modify the way they were delivering their layers to try to make them more dynamic, the way that Liquidware FlexApp had always done. And we'll revisit that and other innovations that we've done along the way. But a trademark was filed by Unidesk in 2016 for elastic layering. Yet during the acquisition by Citrix and everything, at some point, not quite clear when, during the middle of that, it was abandoned. And you can look this up yourself in the USPTO database, and you can see that the filing party did not file. Maybe there was an inaccurate thing in there, or they filed late. They may have missed a deadline in there. But regardless, the term was never formally trademarked. And so at the time that Citrix acquired Unidesk, it was still an emerging thing that Unidesk was doing, elastic layering. And they tabled the technology. At first, it only delivered application layers that were delivered along with the OS. And some of the industry insiders had said it lacked stability at first. So they developed that a little further, and they reintroduced that to the market in version 4.x in 2017, citing that not all layers could be elastic and that there was further challenges with drivers and other things. But Liquidware had continued to deliver their application layering as dynamic layers, the way that we spoke about it. And then we started to use the term elastic, since it was never formally trademarked either. But we've always led with that term dynamic layers. They're not tethered to the Windows OS, and our approach enables you to quickly package up applications, and we've dubbed that term fast packaging. Packaging things one time and it works across multiple Windows OS versions was an area where we led as a technology and as a company there, and with a high compatibility rating. FlexApp boasts about a 90% compatibility rating of the types of apps it can deliver like this, while keeping the app layers dynamic, or otherwise elastic, as you may call them. Elastic layering still failed to impress many people in the industry when it was delivered from Citrix, and they still have two ways of delivering layers, whether they're attached to the OS and embedded in that as applications that are in there as an OS layer as well, or as an elastic layer. It was cited that elastic layers are those that you can deploy in real time by one reviewer. And he said, if you're familiar with Liquidware FlexApp, you may have already seen this type of feature before. It's because Liquidware actually led in this area of dynamic layers, and we continue to do so. And that continues to be a reason why many organizations look to us, even if they have access to the Citrix app layering technology. And there was further challenges as the technology went along. The reviewer cited it's a great feature, but it comes with some specialty things you need to think about there. Does it have boot level drivers or similar? And there would be challenges in there. So you need to test them, and they can be finicky to get working as cited by reviewers in the industry. And not all applications are suitable for application layering. So while they deliver this, Citrix App Layering delivers elastic layers, they tend to be, even to date, many people in the community would call them finicky. Now this is an area where Liquidware has led, and this is not to throw Citrix under the bus, because the technology that they acquired with Unidesk truly was a leader in the industry and continues to help many customers deliver application layers. But when it comes to application layers that are dynamic, Liquidware FlexApp continues to lead the market, and it continues to be a very honest reason why even many Citrix customers use Liquidware FlexApp today. Our digital workspace management is how the application layering is made available. That product is called FlexApp, and it also goes hand in hand with a product called Profile Unity User Environment Management that gives you great capabilities. It's full user environment management, further setting itself apart from any other application layering in the market. And then also part of that suite is Stratosphere UX, user experience monitoring and diagnostics for any type of Windows environment. This suite, the only one in the industry for digital workspace management that works across all your desktops, okay? Not just your Citrix desktops or your VMware desktops, but also for your cloud and your physical desktops as well. And all of our technology even supports laptop use cases, and there's variations of it that allow even laptops to go offline. So you keep us in mind for your entire Windows enterprise, not just for your siloed virtual desktops in those cases. This webinar will be about elastic layering, and I'm going to give you some background about FlexApp. Greg's going to give you a demonstration of the technology a little bit later, and you'll see along the way how we continue to make these application layers very dynamic in the way that they're delivered. So as I said, it works for all Windows desktops. It separates app delivery from the OS delivery. Big contrast from the way that other technologies work, as I've already outlined there. It supports virtually all different types of application types. And it gives you the most ways to layer in the industry. So you can put your layers down at system boot and login time, and that helps with those the support of those embedded drivers that need to be there and working at the time the OS comes up. An innovative way to do that, to deliver layers also, is with our click to layer. We can drop off a stub icon to a desktop, and only when the user double clicks on that icon will that application layer as well. So the most ways to layer applications, and we also now deliver a technology called FlexApp One, which enables these dynamic layers to go offline. It supports remote work from home and anywhere strategies and all the ways that we layer, and also with that FlexApp One technology. And it supports the use of multi-cloud. So you can host these layers on a file share in your data center, or you can host them on any cloud, any of the three major clouds in the industry. And industry insiders consistently pick FlexApp as the #1 pick, including What Matrix has led us for years as being head and shoulders above any other layering solution out there, when we've garnered many other industry awards. So the main reasons why organizations use FlexApp is to simplify application management and also to streamline base images. So you may get base image sprawl if you're relying on your base images or your those that are layered within your OS to deliver these applications. But when you can separate them out, you have a much more superior solution, and it minimizes your base image. It supports non-persistent desktops. It gives you that high compatibility rating that I cited earlier, and it gives you quick ability to update applications. Even after they're delivered, you really can have a zero downtime for applications and switch out the legacy version for the newer version if you've run our update process. And it really helps to provide business continuity no matter what the situation. So no matter what type of desktop the user logs onto, and no matter where they log on from, we support all those work from anywhere type scenarios to keep your business up and running with the way we deliver applications. Some of these ways and why you would choose FlexApp may be a little bit redundant from that previous slide, but I do want to emphasize the streamlining of base image management here. and being able to assign applications on a very granular way when it's used with Profile Unity. So the power of FlexApp and Profile Unity really is unparalleled in the industry, and it gives you the best of both worlds: a user environment that follows the user and applications that also follow the user and keep them dynamic across all desktops. Our approach, as said earlier, avoids repackaging at every OS update, which is a sore point of some application layering solutions out there, that that if you make changes within the OS or the way that the OS is delivered, you may in fact break your application and have to start over. Our centralized approach to managing the user environment management and applications is also unparalleled in the industry, and we do that with our Profile Unity user environment management. As mentioned earlier, when you package an application once, it has great benefits. That keeps it to where you can upgrade the underlying OS, whether your users are going to Windows 11 or a new version of Server, such as Server 2022 that's recently come out. The admin and role-based access is very in-depth within the solution. It enables you to have packaging administrators, and that's all that they do, is package up applications, and then they can actually have, if they have permissions, deliver those to a specific department as well. When you couple FlexApp with Profile Unity, you also get full application and user rights management, the ability to whitelist or blacklist applications, application restrictions, and you can raise the privileges of a specific application, so you can keep standard user rights intact and only raise the privileges when user rights need to be raised, giving you the best zero trust methodology in the industry. Our fast packaging can't be ignored either. When compared to other solutions in the market that might take 5 times or more the time to package one application, even the simplest of applications, our packaging is in real time. The ability to use contextual aware settings sets FlexApp apart as well. You can select time of day within the UEM characteristics. You can select the department. You can allocate a user, an application by user first name or last name, or an IP address range, or a specific location where users log on. It gives you the most ways to have a contextual aware application experience. It also helps you with compliance. So those industries like finance and healthcare, where you may not and you should not have access to applications that contain patient data, for example, while you're at home, we can restrict those applications or not even deliver them at all, given the context of where the user's logged on to the desktop or workspace. Here's a good graphical view of what FlexApp looks like compared to traditional software installation. So if you'll focus on the left side first, you'll see that the Windows delivery method for most apps follow this. When an application is installed, and starting with the application at the top, it places binaries and files all over the OS. It places them in as sampled in these folders here, and maybe some others as well. And it modifies those. And that's what we talk about when you are modifying base images by putting the app in that base image. You have forever modified it. And for those of you that have been around Windows for a long time know that the more applications you install in a Windows OS, the slower that OS will become over time from application installs, uninstalls, and application updates. This has been coined long ago in the industry as Windows image rot over time. It's when that Windows image gets older and it runs slower and you can't quite put your finger on it. Not only have you spent a lot of time managing the base images to deliver your applications, and you may have dozens of base images to support, say, a Citrix implementation on a department by department basis, for example, but you've also modified that Windows OS, and it can indeed run slower and be far less secure than it would be if you could use a method like FlexApp. Now let's look at FlexApp on the right side. And I have labeled this slide as FlexApp One, but it also applies to FlexApp itself. When a FlexApp application is delivered to the OS, it indeed communicates with all those same areas that the application binaries and files need to be, such as the system registry, the system, program data files, and others. If you went looking for those files that would normally be installed, you would seemingly see them out there, but they're not there at all. FlexApp uses a system, a filter driver that acts as a shim that delivers that application and makes all those files look like they're native to the OS while they're contained actually on a virtual hard disk. That virtual hard disk has everything needed on it, and the filter driver makes it look native to the OS. Greg, do you have anything to add to this approach and the way that we've taken this, given the fact that you, before joining Liquidware, you've also looked at different ways that applications have been delivered in the industry?
Yeah, I have. No, I think you're covering it really, really well. One thing that I really like about FlexApp is I've helped my customers here to actually migrate from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and I'll soon help to migrate to Windows 11. And we can have apps that are packaged on Windows 7 seamlessly work into Windows 10 so that that migration effort doesn't get slowed or doesn't get bogged down because we have to repackage all of our applications. So,
it greatly speeds it up, and we end up with zero downtime as part of the migration over for those customers. It's a great way of delivering those apps because Profile Unity can mimic that on the user profile side, bringing in the profile across OS. So we not only do that, but we bring in the applications cross OS as well. You heard me mention FlexApp One. FlexApp One's a newer technology that Liquidware developed that's exclusive. It untethers FlexApp applications. So normally you would have those FlexApp containers, those virtual hard disks, as said, sitting on storage on-prem or in the cloud, and all the workspaces that deliver that experience these applications would need to be connected, and that filter driver would make that ring true. Well, FlexApp One is an alternate way of delivering a FlexApp. It gives you everything that you need to deliver an application on one single executable file that's shareable by any means necessary. And by that, I mean you could put it on a cloud file share or OneDrive or Dropbox. You could put it on a USB stick. You could simply copy the files across the network, send them by email, and you could get that application out to your workforce by any means necessary. Now, this was an innovation that really came out of the recent pandemic, where our customers needed to get applications out to their field regardless of the way that they're connected. So FlexApp One is an innovation that came out of that, a real world need to have these applications be even more dynamic. You'll only find this from Liquidware and FlexApp. And it also decouples FlexApp from needing to be coupled to Profile Unity the whole time. So you no longer have to have FlexApp applications delivered in tandem with Profile Unity UEM, but there are enterprise use cases for those context-aware settings and application rights where it makes a lot of sense sometimes to deliver that application only with Profile Unity. So it just gives you more flexibility along the way. It also enables you to take that executable and you can distribute it with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, otherwise known as Intune and formerly as SCCM. That gives you great flexibility too, because that puts you in the normal workflow of the way application managers have been distributing applications for years. So you can take this executable and you can assign it by department or by any way necessary, the way that you had done it with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. It really gives you that streamlined application layering methodology for the basic use cases to get those applications out by any means necessary, while still giving you the advanced features available. So the only way that you can get FlexApp One, you may be asking yourself, is also to have FlexApp. So this is a feature set of FlexApp, to be clear, FlexApp One, although it enables you to take a FlexApp package, run one more process on it in our packaging console, and it becomes far more dynamic to be able to go offline to support those offline use cases and dynamic use cases as well. It supports connected desktops too, so you could use that, but it really gives you a leg up in the way that you do that. And speak about elastic layering, it doesn't get much more elastic than that to be able to take your layers offline and keep them dynamic that way. So let's recap some of the industry firsts that that we have innovated here at Liquidware. FlexApp also has micro isolation. It simplifies the packaging process. That enables you to have two applications that don't necessarily need to be aware of each other. And if they had DLL conflicts or reaching back to get a shared file that may be in both of those, think about Adobe Creative Suite, and you've used Illustrator and packaged it up, and separately you did Photoshop. And what if there was a shared DLL? Well, it doesn't matter if you've got micro isolation. We'll reach back and grab a copy of that DLL, and those applications will work just fine, even if they weren't packaged together. Dynamic apps was an industry first from Liquidware, and in that way, we really coined the way to do things elastically, and we saw that imitated by Unidesk later, Citrix later, but it's the way that we've always delivered our apps. Our cloud native Flex apps, having applications out there hosted in the cloud, was an industry first. Well, we have applications that are already prepackaged out there in FlexApp cloud apps, but you can also host FlexApp packages out there on object-based storage, so they're cloud native and cloud hosted, even without a file share, so nothing to maintain there with bigger infrastructure that might be needed from the competitors. That fast packaging I mentioned earlier is an industry exclusive. And like I said, when we package an application, it is in near real time. It's about the same amount of time as you to run that executable if you've downloaded it from the web, or using things like Winget or Chocolatey, anything like that, bringing them in and packaging those apps up fast. Packaging things once and it just works across was another industry first, and it's something that we've really hung our hat on. Even if some of our competitors can do that hit and miss, we do that with the consistent results, giving the ability to package apps once, and if they support the other OS, they will work in the other OS. Session isolation is an area we pioneered, and that keeps you, even on a Citrix server, such as one that is running on server 2022, you can have multiple users on that same server, and these applications can be isolated from others. Now, we've seen other competitors imitate that features over the years as well, but it was an industry first from FlexApp. We were the first application layering solution on all three marketplaces, and you can get those on those marketplaces today, on those cloud marketplaces. FlexApp One culminated our industry innovation along with a FlexApp full automation, so we can even automate the packaging process as well now. So if an organization has dozens or hundreds of applications and they need to get those into a FlexApp format quickly, we can do that with new FlexApp automation. Greg, enough talking from me. We really would like to see the demo and how this looks when it's put into practice. And I understand you may even have a mixed OS environment that we can see these go across and truly be elastic.
I do. So it's actually really interesting. You talked about a few things during your slideshow. Automation, you need to go and check your slides and remove the word beta next to that. That is now a real live production product. I actually used it in preparation for this, our automation platform. You know, I packaged 17 apps while I was asleep one night. So that's not here nor there. It's not part of this conversation, but it is there. It is working. It is a production product to help the packaging of our elastic apps be even easier. And today we're going to walk through a Windows 10 to Windows 11 kind of thing. I left Pro U proper out of this demo. So I have two VMs in my lab. I got Windows 11 right here. I got Windows 10 right here. Prior to this, I just started them up. Let's log into one here. Let's log into this Windows 10 machine. And all I've done was log in. I really wanted to log in and just kind of show everybody here. It's a base plain Jane machine. Let's go to the control panel. Look at add remove programs. And you'll notice there's not much here. There's Chrome that's in the base image, there's Office and Teams. Kind of the people that I work with, this is kind of the images that we actually work with. So in Profile Unity, I have a Profile Unity configuration called FlexApps. We'll go in, take a look at that. The FlexApp DIA module is right here. And inside of here, we have a number of apps that I want to elastically layer or dynamically layer into my Windows 7. These things that don't have W10, 1909 in front of them, all the rest of them were actually chocolatey automation apps that I brought in one night. But this one here, I brought in this one specifically because it was packaged on Windows 10 1909. I'm actually displaying in Windows 10 20 H2, so kind of showing Windows 10 versions back and forth. Let's go ahead and save this, click our blue update button, and deploy this out. That sends out an INI file out to my NetLogon share. I can get rid of that. Let's quickly log off of here. And while this is logging off, go over here to the Windows 11 machine, kind of show you the same thing, that it's just a blank plain machine. And so all I did was log in just so I didn't have to go through that first user init. We can go to add remove programs, and again, pretty basic Chrome, Office, Edge, and pretty basic images. The C++ are in the base images as well as the actual packager. So let's get out of here. Oh, and this Windows 11 has not been optimized at all. It's why you've got all these other things still in here. So optimization, while it is nice, it is not necessary for what we do. Let me go ahead and sign out of that guy. Let's log back into this Windows 7 machine now that we've pushed out a Profile Unity INI file.
You said Windows 7, but 10, right?
Yes, it is Windows 10. I'm sorry. Thank you. I was hoping to show Windows 7, but I have not rebuilt my Windows 7 lab. So here we're in the Profile Unity splash screen, and you get back to the Windows 10 desktop. Things will load in as they normally would, and you'll see some icons appear on the desktop, including some of the things that are click to layer, as you mentioned earlier. So what is not click to layer? Notepad++ is not click to layer. Get back over to here. All right, never mind. So Notepad++, it's just going to pop up really quickly. Opera is click to layer. You're going to see a little pop-up here that says we are getting your application. It mounts that VHDX from the network. It replays it and opens up your app. This is great for like large applications that are multi-gig in size and may or may not be used every time that you log in. Okay, so cool enough. That all works on Windows 7. Got lots of applications there. Those same applications, or again on Windows 10, those same applications are now going to log in when we log into Windows 11. Checking my password here. And FlexApp pops up. And as the user logs in, it actually gets their desktop. The FlexApps are mounted and replayed. One thing that you talked about is going to that file system and actually seeing things as if they were natively added. So see program files, Notepad++. You can go into the Notepad++, into that Notepad++ folder, and actually natively see that it's there, where in fact that is a mounted Elastic application packaged with the FlexApp Packager console. Takes less than 3 to 5 minutes to package a simple app like that. We don't work with just simple apps. We work with very complicated apps as well. It really line of business apps all work well. Slack here was our one that was from 1909 on Windows 10. It happened to also be a click-to-layer. And of course, as I have a new user here, Slack should just come up and do its new initial thing and ask me to sign in. So elastic layering between Windows 10 and Windows 11. Jason, any questions?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping you would show. The pain that you'd have to go through if these weren't truly the dynamic and elastic is to repackage all these. And while that process with FlexApp would be relatively quick, you just don't even have to do it because the application layers work across those. So you don't experience the pain. But with the competition, and you're thinking about, it takes them maybe 5 times the amount of time to package a simple app as with FlexApp. It may take you literally over an hour to repackage up one app for a new OS layer. So a great demo, and this was really what I was hoping you'd show because it really showcases the power of that elastic layer for it to go from one desktop to the next, and even between OSs. So we can do this for Windows 7 as well, right? And all versions of Server from 2016 forward, I believe it is, all the way through 2022 now.
Yep.
All right, so that was a great demo. We appreciate it. If you've got questions, and we've gone virtual with this webinar today, but if you've got questions, you can reach out to us at any time at info@liquidware.com, and we'll be glad to reply to those questions via email. And you can also give us shout outs on Twitter and LinkedIn as well. There's additional resources available on our website. So not only can you download and trial the software that you saw today, FlexApp and Profile Unity and Stratosphere, all those are out there. You fill out a quick form, and within an hour and a half or so, you can get each individual solution up and running and be testing them accordingly, including FlexApp, and you'll be able to sample this yourself. But we also have many white papers available. If you'd like to learn more about FlexApp One that we discussed today, including a quick demonstration, we recently did a webinar on FlexApp One. That's in our webinar archives. And you can also check out our community site. And there's many of our enterprise users out there contributing to the community site weekly. So it's a healthy and vibrant community site where you can go for more information. If you're having challenges out there separate and aside, and you think some of your peers at other organizations are, you can take a look at those. We have many customer success stories where FlexApp has been rolled out for enterprises and is providing great return on investment, including the ability to lower your the time it takes to manage your base images, to update your applications, and to keep your users up and running. So there's many customer success stories out there featured that you'll find as well. Ray, would you like to close us out for today's webinar?
Sure, thanks, Jason. And I just wanted to point out, like Jason had mentioned, if you wanted to reach out for more information, you can reach out to us in a couple different ways. There on the screen, you see sales@liquidware.com. Jason had mentioned info@liquidware.com. You can reach out to either one of those. And Jason just mentioned the community site. That's a great place also to go with any of your questions. We've got a lot of experts on there, more than just even Greg and Jason who are on today's call, but we have your peers and other experts out there to help chime in and answer any of your questions as well. So with that being said, thank you all for joining us today. But most of all, thank you, Jason and Greg, for taking us through today's presentation. I know it was a great one, and I learned a lot even from this, even had a little history lesson. So thank you all, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you guys on one of our next up and coming webinars. Thank you.